There was this moment in New York. I had been in meetings for 4 days straight, barely sleeping, living off matcha and whatever crunchy snacks I could grab between calls. By Thursday night, my flight was yet again delayed. I was walking around, staring at my laptop screen at one point, and realized I couldn't even remember what city I was supposed to be in next week. This lifestyle that I thought was making me successful was actually making me lose myself completely. This summer has been absolutely insane. I've been bouncing between 5 different cities: Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and the Bay Area. At the end of each day, I find myself in yet another bed. I'm tired, and my phone has so many unread emails. And this is embarrassing to admit, I genuinely cannot remember if I turned off my oven before leaving Boston. But today, I needed to address something that's been weighing on me heavily. Because while my travel vlogs might make this nomadic lifestyle look effortless, the reality is it's slowly breaking me down. Hello, this is Eugen. I'm a management consultant based in Boston. Well, technically based in Boston, though I'm rarely actually there. This isn't going to be one of those 10 travel hacks videos. This is me genuinely struggling with the psychological impact of never being settled and sharing what's been keeping me afloat. If you're dealing with a demanding career, constant movement, or just the general chaos of modern life, I want you to know that you're not alone in feeling overwhelmed. The problem isn't just the physical exhaustion. It's that when you're constantly moving, your nervous system never gets to relax. Different beds, different time zones, different routines. You're bound to be in a perpetual state of stress. So I had to figure out how to stay sane, and here's what's been working. First, always make time to move your body. But I'm not talking about forcing yourself into some perfect fitness routine. It's more about movements that act as medicine. When I was in Silicon Valley, I visited my friend's Pilates studio. I almost didn't go. I was exhausted, had emails piling up, and felt guilty for wasting time on exercise. But stepping into that space completely reset my energy. It wasn't just about the physical exercise. It was about connecting with someone who knew me in a space that felt intentional. And the same thing happened in New York at Rumble. After that brutal week of meetings, I forced myself to go to this boxing class even though I was really tired. I imagined punching my stressors during class. Take that, pow. Afterward, it was like someone had hit a reset button on my entire system. Look, most of the time, I don't have access to fancy studios. So here's what I tried. Quick hotel room yoga flows. Taking calls while walking instead of sitting. Even stretching while watching my old YouTube videos. And if you're watching this on your phone right now, seriously, check your posture. The physical tension we carry from hunching over laptops directly impacts our mental state. When you're traveling constantly, this compounds exponentially. Second, find your third place. And this might sound ridiculous, but Whole Foods has become my sanctuary. It's kind of like my church. When everything feels foreign and disorienting, there's something deeply comforting about the predictable layout, the same products, the same aesthetic. It's like a little piece of consistency in chaos. There's a specific Whole Foods in Tribeca that I've probably visited 20 times this summer. The security guy knows me by now. I'm that girl who props in with the running shorts, 2 phones in hand, and another matcha latte. And I need to be honest, there have been days where I've sat in that Whole Foods and just sighed out loud in public. Not dramatically, but quietly, because I was so overwhelmed I didn't know how to keep going. When I'm in Boston, I have these specific walking routes along the water. There's something about being near the ocean that immediately put things into perspective. The point isn't about the specific place. It's having somewhere you can just exist without any agenda, without productivity or networking or checking things off your list. Just being. Because when you're traveling constantly, everything becomes transactional. But you need places where you can remember you're a human being, not just a human doing. Third, connect with your people and do it with intention. In my 20s, travel was activity-centered. I was always trying to see the coolest restaurant, do the most Instagrammable thing. But now I've realized the memories that actually sustain me are never about the places. They're about the people I've shared experiences with. This summer, I flew from the East Coast specifically to meet my dad in the Bay Area, walking him through the streets of Palo Alto, showing him places I used to live. It was like sharing a piece of my history with him. He sat in this cafe where I used to study during my business school application days, and I told him how lonely and overwhelmed I felt back then. I would just order a bunch of boba and try to feel comfort in drowning myself in sweetness. And he shares stories about his own early career struggles that he actually never told me before. Those conversations will stay with me forever. And compare that to the dozens of networking events I've attended. Those are all blurred together into forgettable small talks. Because here's what nobody talks about with constant travel. It's incredibly lonely. You're surrounded by people all the time, but meaningful connections are rare. You start performing a version of yourself everywhere you go. Having people in different cities who actually know you, not just your professional self, but your struggles and your dreams and your aspirations, become essential for maintaining your sense of self. Fourth, carry little things that bring you joy. In this New York trip, you'll see me with my Tupperware, massage ball, and a book by my bed. Sometimes I travel with small stuffed animal too. Yeah, I'm that person.
Best place to see the fireworks? I'm working late. Ooh, people are here. Look at that. Wow, look at this. It's like red, white, and blue.
Wow.
I remember one night in this soulless Manhattan hotel room playing around with the little things I brought from home. These are not just objects, they're emotional anchors. They remind you of who you are when no one else is watching, when you're constantly adapting to new environments. Finally, remember that this too shall pass. I know traveling constantly can feel overwhelming, even though we romanticize it on social media. But remember this truth: the exhaustion, the loneliness, the anxiety, these are temporary, not permanent. I'm not saying suffering is worth it. I'm saying that recognizing the temporary nature of the difficulty that you're feeling will give you strength to find meaning within them. Document those moments, the good and the bad, and tell yourself, this is hard, but I'm figuring it out. Life is never going to be easy, whether you're traveling constantly or staying put, but you can always find a way to make it work. So those are my 5 strategies: making space for movement, finding sanctuary, connecting with intention, carrying joy, and remembering impermanence. Well, I'm still figuring this out, and some days I nail all 5 strategies, other days I'm getting lost in Whole Foods. But that's okay. We're all just trying to stay human in an increasingly chaotic world. So, what do you do to stay grounded when life feels overwhelming? What keeps you sane when everything around you is constantly changing? Please let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you're watching this while dealing with any major life transition, be gentle with yourself. You're doing better than you think you are. Trust me. Thank you for watching, and come back to my next video topic on...
Let's go! It's time to be the GOAT. It's time to enter God mode, man, let's get it going. I wanna be the greatest, energy is overflowing. I know I'm stoking the fire.